Hello, this is Dan from Drone Flyers. I wanted to just take a moment and give you an important update in regards to recreational drone pilots. Not that long ago, you may recall that the FAA changed things substantially for recreational drone pilots, and one of those changes was a temporary restriction and where they could fly, that they could fly basically in Class G airspace. Other than that, there were certain fixed site fields where they could fly from that were in anything that was outside of Class G airspace. However, it looks like today they have finally gone ahead and some of those authorizations are now able to get approved to fly in sites outside of those fixed sites. So, for example, the screen we're looking at now is on my phone, and it is through the Kitty Hawk app. We are going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at how you get one of those authorizations now from the same LANIC system that had been previously only available to commercial, that is Part 107 pilots, but is now active and ready for use for recreational pilots as well. And so the very first thing we're going to do is we are now opened up to the main screen. We can go ahead and we can look at weather conditions, visibility, humidity, cloud coverage. However, I just want to focus today on getting those authorizations through LANIC. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit the add button. Going to give us a couple of options there. There's actually 5 there, and you're going to say request LANIC authorization. It's going to go ahead and pull up a map and show your location on it. Right now I'm not actually inside any sort of Class D airspace, but I'm going to go ahead and move over to our Class D airport, and I'm going to pick a block and point on it there to click my location to now, or my desired location to fly within the restrictions of those blocks. You can see that there's different colors there, and each color code corresponds to the maximum authorized height in that area for drone operations. And the red areas, of course, there is not a automatic approval process authorized. So if I were to try to get a authorization over here, it's not going to let it happen. We'd have to go ahead and submit that through the FAA's website. Anyway, let's go back to where we were so I can demonstrate how the system works. At the bottom left corner, you can see that it shows that we're within 4 miles of a Class D airport. So within that airspace, we'll go ahead and we push right on that blue button. It pops up several different things. It tells you the Class D airspace, that the Class E that's around there, and even one of the stadiums that's not far from there. Up at the top of the screen, just directly underneath that blue 4 kg NV Class D airspace, we see it says Get Authorization. We're going to go ahead and push on that. And it's now going to pop up a new box. Previously, it would bring up a Part 107 section where you would fill in your certificate number, but under this option now, the newly amended system, we see that it gives you an option of still getting authorization under Part 107 commercial, or directly beneath it, the now new section 44809 for recreational pilots. So let's go ahead and click on that. Once we do, you're going to go ahead and you're going to choose the altitude you want to fly at. You can go ahead and put your finger on the bar and just move it over. In this case, let's put 100 feet. You can see that the prompt shows that it's eligible for auto approval up to 400 feet. And you can also get that same information by looking below at the green bar. If there was an airspace restriction, like say it was available only up to a ceiling of 200 feet, meaning anything above that you couldn't get auto approval, then that's where the green would end, is at 200 feet. So I've gone ahead and I've clicked 100 feet, which is going to be our proposed altitude for this flight. I now click on the next bar. At the very top, there's some options. They're kind of grayed out, but they're still active. You can click on them. For example, I click on the duration. I can go ahead and move those numbers around to make the flight longer or shorter. To the left, there's a date and column. Same type of thing. You go ahead and click on that, and you can move it to the day of the week. I can, again, adjust the times that I want it at. We're going to go ahead and leave it for now and today. They do give you some notes below. For example, apparently you cannot get authorizations for flights that are more than 90 days in advance. You can't get anything that is 30 minutes before sunrise or sunset. And you can't go ahead and get flights for more than 1 registered aircraft or for more than one flight in the same area at a time. You go ahead and click next. It's going to go ahead and load the next screen. It's going to confirm everything that you have entered and that this is what you want. It gives you a bunch of legal information below about, the inability to operate around stadiums an hour before, an hour after certain events, NASCAR events, National Football League events, Major League Basketball, and so on. And then we go ahead and click next again. We've got to go ahead and agree to a bunch of different terms here. Accidentally clicked the wrong key there, so unfortunately it moved me to another page I had to fix. But there's the Data Exchange Privacy Act statement, and there's this guidelines for U.S. recreational flyers. If you click on any of those, it's going to move you to a different screen. Should you do that, just as I did, if you want to read the information, if you need the information, you've never read it before, certainly you need to read it. But you can go ahead and just come back to the app and click back into it like I did. Just take a look at these each. It talks about NOTAMs. It talks about responsibilities for operating special use airspace. It talks about temporary flight restrictions. Of course, you need to check all those situations before you apply for your authorization in this space. Go ahead and once you've clicked all those things, you're going to go ahead and hit agree and submit. And there you have it. You now have your authorization listed below. It's at long Atlantic KTH, and it just continues on reading from left to right. You can go ahead and click on it. Where it says more, tells me that it's going to start in 56 seconds, and all the details are there. So you're good to go. The authorization has gone through, and we can go ahead at the bottom and cancel the request. Say if we're not going to make that flight, which I'm going to go ahead and actually do since this was just for illustrative purposes. And so that is it. We are good. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a lot of fun flying.